So I'm just going to go in here a little early. I like to give people a couple minutes to find me before we get started. Happy 4th of July. Thank you for tuning in if you're tuning in. I am going to drop some comments in the little comment box there. I'm going to talk about some of this. Well, I think I'm only dropping a couple of things. That and cheesemaking.com. Okay, so there we go. Perfect. All right. I'm going to step back over here, get this all nice and set up here. Yep, you guys can see me. All right. I'm not going to do anything until 10 o'clock. I just want to give everybody a chance to get here, and I wanted to put some stuff in the comments there. We're going to have a little bit of a time to chat this morning. I started this early due to my hot plate situation that I have going on here where it doesn't get things very hot. I'm just checking my temperature. This is another one of those temperature ones. Giving it a good stir. We'll talk. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Oh, that went fast. Wow. That went really fast. Just checking temperature. I'm going to turn this up just a smidgy. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Happy 4th of July to everyone. Here we are with another session of Chicken Librarian Mix. Today I'm doing a quick and down and dirty goat cheese. So if you have been wanting to make goat cheese and this is you don't really know where to start and you don't want to buy a lot of special ingredients, which it typically takes to make goat cheese, we're going to do a really easy, quick version. And then we'll talk a little bit about getting goat's milk, and then where you can buy your supplies if you want to go to the next level after you've done this. So all I've done so far is I've taken a gallon of the yummy raw goat's milk that I get from my milk supplier, Hardler Farms, which I have linked in on my page. So all I've done so far is I put it in a pot and I'm heating it to 175, and that's what I've been doing for the past like half hour or so. I just took it and put it into the kitchen and to get it up to temperature. You want to do this like low and slow, but because for the sake of timing, I did not do that. You want to stir it because it can scorch easily, as milk will do. And that's all I've done so far. And so I'm probably right at 175, but I want to give everybody a chance to get on this morning if anybody's going to join us. I realize it's 4th of July, but I didn't want to skip another week. I skipped last week. And I'll talk about why here in a second. All right. So let's wait just another minute here. I don't know. I did some comments here, so this is going to be very quick since I heated the milk beforehand. This is going to be one of those quick ones. Okay. All right. So here we are, down and dirty, homemade goat cheese on 4th of July. I hope everybody is enjoying their day so far. I know probably a lot of people have plans for today. Might not be able to make it. That's okay. We're going to record it, and then it'll be up here, and it'll be on my other avenues as well. So, before, I think let's just go ahead and get started. It's 10:02. I came on a couple minutes early. So, all right. So, like I said, all I've done so far is I've just taken a gallon of goat's milk. I use raw goat's milk from the dairy near me, and I put it in a pot. I have heated it to 175. I'm stirring it so it doesn't scorch, and just to keep it from burning, and just to keep it even there. And what it'll do, you can heat it to like 175 to 185. You're just looking for the little bubbles to form on top. And honestly, the lighting in here is really bad today, but there are bubbles on top. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my little hot plate off, and I'm going to move it off of the heat. And I'm going to let it sit here for a second. And so this is a quick and dirty one. This isn't like a traditional cheese, especially goat cheese, takes a really long time. So you have to heat the milk, then you have to add a starter to it. And then you have to let it sit for like 12 hours. Then you drain it, and then you put it in the colander, a cheesecloth lined colander, and then you let it sit for another 12 hours. So I feel like that's one of those things that I would do like with a pre-recorded video so you guys can see that. So that's probably where that's going to go. But if you have some goat's milk or you want to try to make some goat cheese, this is really quick. You can let it drain as long as you want to, with a minimum of 2 hours, with a maximum of up to 2 days. So you're going to heat your milk. I do a whole gallon. You can proportion this out to where it will be, like if you don't have a gallon of milk, if you just go to the grocery store and you find the powdered milk, or you find the, sometimes at a really good grocery store, you can actually find kind of mass-produced goat's milk, which is the same company that makes usually is the same company that makes the dried. Sometimes you can find evaporated, but for those of you who are lucky enough to be able to find goat's milk near you, or you have goats, this is a good place to start. You can also go on cheesemaking.com, which I put in the comments, and you can do a search, and they'll actually, I guess if it's a registered dairy and it's, my raw milk is on there because he is inspected and certified and all that good stuff. So you can just go on there and you can do a search for milk near you, and you might be able to find your goat's milk there. I've also just done Google searches before, and I found some goat milk people. Let's take a deep breath. I see there's 3 people on here. I'm going to check the comments. But anyway, you're going to get your milk. You're going to put it in. You're going to heat it to 175, no more than 185. You're going to stir it. I'm going to check some comments here just to see if anybody has, nope, not that I see. So if you are commenting and I don't see it, we're back to that again. Okay. So then you're going to take a cup to a gallon. So that's your ratio. So if you're going to use less than a gallon, you're going to have to do some proportioning out. Okay. So you're going to take a cup of apple cider vinegar. Just making sure that was a cup. And then you're just going to pour it in. And it's going to pretty much curdle immediately. Okay? You're going to give it a stir. You're going to see it start curdling. And the interesting thing about the raw milk to me is that it doesn't really get goaty. You know how a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like goat cheese because it tastes goaty. This never really gets goaty to me. We never boil it, so we're never really pasteurizing it. So it doesn't get too goaty. All right. So now I'm doing all this for a reason, because we need to let it sit for 10 minutes, okay? And then we're going to chat. I've got my little timer here. I've already set it to 10 minutes. So all I've done so far is I've taken my milk, I've heated it to 175, I'm taking it off. I've poured a cup of apple cider vinegar in, and I've stirred it. It's curdling already, and I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes. I'm going to come over and join you. Okay? This is one of those rather easy peasy ones this morning, okay? So here's the deal. I have some bad news. I have some good news and I have some bad news for you. So I'm not going to be able to do the Facebook Live videos anymore after this series. So I have them already scheduled through August 8th, and I'm going to try to keep that commitment. So as you guys know, I teach classes and I sell products. And so I haven't been able to teach classes at all since the COVID shutdowns, but markets are opening up, so I'm booking markets like crazy. I'm trying really hard to book markets like crazy. So unfortunately for you guys and for me, because I love seeing you guys every Saturday morning, I don't think I can continue the Saturday morning videos live. What I think I'm going to do though is I'm going to try to get some pre-recorded ones done, and we'll just put them up on Saturday mornings. That's kind of my goal. We'll see how it goes, because I haven't really done those type of videos yet. So I've got some time. We've got 6 weeks here to work around with it, okay? The other thing I wanted to let you guys know is that in the comments, I've dropped everywhere I'm at. So I have a blog, I have an event page on that blog, on the blog, where you can see everything. Like, I know I do the events here on Facebook, but that's not everywhere I'm at. So you can just go to that link and you can see where I'm at. And then I have Instagram and I have YouTube. So I'd love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be putting stuff on YouTube as well. And everything goes on the blog. So if you want like one central place to find me, go to the blog. Okay. So that's the bad news. The good news is that now I'm getting busy and I'm, back out and about, which is good. Just bad for us, for Facebook Live. I know. I'm going to miss you guys. But we've got 6 weeks together, 5 weeks after today. Next week, I have a guest coming on who is going to show us how to grind our own meat, because I shot a deer last year and I need to grind some meat. So I have some pork fat and I have some deer meat, and he's going to come in. Our farmer John, our friend, is Triple H Farm. All the information is right on the Facebook. It's also on my blog. He's going to come in and he's going to entertain us, and he's going to teach us a lot about meat. This week is really easy because you're heating milk, you're adding apple cider vinegar, you're letting it sit for 10 minutes, you're going to strain it, and then you're going to press it, and you're going to let it drain for two hours up to 2 days. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here. Do you guys have any questions? I don't know if I'm just not seeing comments or whatever. I appreciate you guys tuning in for 4th of July. Let me walk back around. All right, here we are. How you guys doing? Let me think about my week. What happened this week? I had my first market yesterday, and I used most of the week to prepare for it. So what happened was I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do the first market or not because of paperwork and whatnot. So whenever I found out that I could do the first market, it was kind of a scramble because I didn't have any products ready. So I just took a little bit yesterday. Oh, you guys, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me do this because you guys can see me. Look at that. You see that tablecloth? So my market that I'm doing is in New York, and New York has some very strict restrictions. And one of the things that I don't think we can do is use a porous tablecloth. So you notice, like, usually I have just a fabric tablecloth, and then for my markets and stuff, I have a handmade quilt that I bought that just kind of goes with my aesthetic, but I'm like, it's porous, right? So I bought this tablecloth, and I'm thinking it's pretty good chicken librarian stuff here. It's pink and it's gingham. So and then I thought about how easy it is to wipe it down after I've done some of these live stuff and I've gotten spilled things everywhere. So I'm introducing it to you guys today. But anyway, I had my first market yesterday and it went really well. So I'm hoping I got some really good feedback from people on what they want to see. So I'm going to try to add some products, and I'm trying to figure out like a signature soap that I'm going to sell, and a couple of other little things. So I'm excited by it. And I'm excited by all the markets and the opportunities that are out there. I've been just applying to things like crazy. So I can just stay busy doing that stuff. So yeah, that was my week. It was hot and the garden's doing really well. We had a lot of rain, so I haven't even had to water the garden. My beans weren't growing really well, and I figured that out. I figured out that they're in the hay wagon, and the hay wagon's tilted just slightly, and I think all the water's running down and sitting where the beans are. So I didn't water. I just let nature take its course up there just to kind of see what's going on. And I think the beans are actually growing now. So I'll probably, if we don't get rain today, I'll probably have to water today. But I've harvested some peas so far. The tomatoes are looking great. I've got to figure out a tomato staking situation. And what else? Herbs are doing good. I want to plant some more peas. The peas are doing like fantastic. I'm like, if nothing else, we're going to be like drowning in peas, which is fine by me. What else? Chickens are doing good. They were cooped up a couple days this week because of dogs running around with some customers, and that's okay. They're fine, and so now they're back to having their regular scheduled outings. We've got about 3.5 minutes left before we strain this. Do you guys have any questions so far? I don't think there's too many of you on here, and that's cool. I get it. It's a holiday, but I didn't want to. I skipped last week because I was really busy preparing for a lot of stuff that was coming out markets, and like I helped my friends butcher some chickens, and I had just a lot of stuff going on. So I took last week off. We've been doing this since, when was my first one? Anybody remember? Back in March, I think. We started this just as a way to connect during the shutdowns and stuff, and I said I'd keep it going as long as I could, and I just needed a little bit of a day to get some stuff together. It was good. I missed you guys, though. I miss you guys a lot. And I will. Once this is all done, I'm going to miss you guys because there's nothing like tuning in. I know I can't really see you guys, but it's still fun to see, you guys on here. And if anybody has comments, which I don't see, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hop over here real quick because we still have 2.5 minutes now. And I'm just going to see if I can see comments over here, like I do with my iPad, right? So I'm going to turn the volume down. All right. No, I don't see any comments on here so far. Oh, no, there we go. Kim, good morning. I see your comments over here now. And Jackie, good morning. Good morning. Kim is tuning in from the road. This, like, whenever I got your message this morning, I don't know if you're still on here or not, but if I got your message this morning and I was like, that's what makes it worth it to do it, to come on here every morning, is whenever people are like, I'm not going to be able to be there. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try to tune in, or I can't make it this week, or I missed you last week. And it's like, oh, then I have to tell you that I don't think I'm going to be able to do them for much longer. It's very upsetting to me. But I know we'll still connect, and, we'll be here. I'll be here. It just won't be live, which is the unfortunate part. But Kim had said that she has goats. Her son has goats. So this is going to be like a really down and dirty version that you can do like whenever you are drowning in goat's milk. But I think what I'll do is I'll just do like some longer videos that are pre-recorded with how you do the like really traditional way. It's just we don't have time because like I would have had to start this process like 3 days ago, which is fine. But I don't think you're going to get as much out of it with me just doing like that traditional thing live. So we'll do that pre-recorded so then you can have it. Okay. So what else we got? Oh, thank you, Jackie. I'm getting your comments over here, not over there. So yeah, well, I skipped last week, like I said. And then, yeah, I know people get busy. And I know, I like seeing you guys. So it's going to be a sad day whenever August 8th is done and I'm not doing Facebook Live anymore. But we'll see what happens. You know what? If I can pop on, I'll pop on. And if not, then, we'll play it loosey-goosey. We'll be a little bit more loosey-goosey with them from after August 8th. But we have between now and August 8th. Okay. So I've got 22 seconds left. And while we're doing that, while we're finishing that up, let's talk about the process from here, okay? So what you're going to want to do is get a colander, and you're going to put some cheesecloth. I'm just going to turn my alarm off because I know I was about 5 seconds from it beeping really loudly. So all I've done is because I'm using, you guys know, if you've tuned in before, you know how much I love, my, let's see, here's a story for you. Well, remind me to go back and tell you the beeswax story. So you know how much I love the muslin, the blue stuff that I use all the time. So anyway, it's all dirty, and I'll tell you why. It has to do with beeswax. So anyway, I've done some cheesecloth, plastic cheesecloth. I get this from cheesemaking.com. It comes in these really long, I don't even know how much you get, but it's like enough for a lifetime, basically. So I get it from cheesemaking.com, which I've also put in the comments there. But I've clipped them with binder clips because it wasn't wide enough. I cut it and it's not wide enough. So I've done that. I'm sticking it kind of down in here just so it will stay in there. It's doubled over, and I use the little binder clips. So you can do a couple of things here. I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can drain this. We're going to straighten it all into here. That's our first step. I'm just going to, oh yeah. All right. There's some curds. All right. So if you know me and you've tuned in before, you know how messy I am with doing this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. and you can actually see. You see how cloudy that is? That is all curds and whey. So it's worked. So we've definitely curdled our milk, which is what we're looking for. It's all good stuff, and you can hear it draining. I don't know if you can hear it draining. I can hear it draining. I have a fan going in the back because I turn all these lights on, and there's no air. The air conditioner's in the other room, so it gets really warm in here. So I had to turn a fan on. All right. I'm just going to drain this out a little bit until I feel comfortable with pouring it, because usually whenever I try to do something silly like that, I spill it everywhere. So, okay. I'm going to let this drain because it's right up to the top. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right up to the top. So I'm going to let it drain for a minute. And while we're doing that, let me tell you the beeswax story. I love telling my stories, and this one, the mistress probably going to really be upset with me for telling this one. But anyway, so I found a local, to me, beekeeper, and I bought some beeswax, and she was like, you might want to just, because we talked about the whole process, everything, and I was telling her what I wanted to do with it, and then I wanted to melt it down, and I bought molds because I wasn't finding things, like it's, the 1 ounce beeswax really is expensive, but if you buy it in a pound block, you get, more bang for your buck, right? So I'm like, that's okay. I can just melt it down, and I can just buy little silicone molds, and I can just do it myself. So she and I had a long conversation about it. She was telling me about the process of extracting the wax, and sometimes you might need to strain it again. And how I love my muslin. If you've tuned in at all on any day whenever we've been cooking or straining anything or doing whatever, I love that muslin stuff. So I was using that to strain the beeswax, but it's beeswax, so it got all over. And I'm like, ooh, I don't really know how to clean this. So I kind of put it aside, and it took me a couple of days to clean everything up. Plus, I was just making product. So I went to, I'm just checking my comments here. Okay. So I set up a chore chart just to kind of keep, instead of doing all your chores in one day and waiting, I decided to kind of be organized, and I printed out a calendar. I'm going to do a whole blog post on it. So anyway, Wednesday is laundry day. So I started with putting the muslin into the washer, and I washed it. And I'm like, it's taking a little while for this wash to get done. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I go back in there, the washer finally stops, and I go in there, and I was like, oh, the mister threw some laundry. And I'm like, that's so sweet of him, but where's the beeswax muslin stuff? And I'm looking around, and I'm like, he didn't stay down there, and he washed our clothes with the beeswax muslin in it. Did you hear that? He washed our clothes with the beeswax muslin. And I was like, you could just see beeswax everywhere. And I was like, well, you can't be mad because he's trying to help, right? So you're like, he's doing a really good thing, but he just didn't see them because they're basically the color of the washer, right? They're kind of a blue, but they kind of blend in. So, you look down, it's dark, whatever. So anyway, all is fine. I rewashed the clothes in small batches. It all came out. So it's all good. But my muslin now, I'm not, I've washed it 3 or 4 times by itself, and I just don't trust that there's not beeswax on it. So that's why I have my plastic cheese making cloth here. So that was a story. That was my story for the day. It was all's well that ends well, right? Okay, I'm going to keep pouring this. So that'll go down in history. I'll probably write that on the blog as well, just because, it's a funny story. I think it should live in forever. All right, I'm just going to keep, can you see all that? There's a bunch of cheese in there. Okay, so now I'm just going to, oh, you know what I didn't bring with me was I love my rubber spatulas, and I didn't bring one. I didn't think about it. Okay. So we're just going to let this drain. I'm going to let it drain out a little bit more just because we're going to tie up I was going to say muslin. It's not muslin. The cheesecloth. We're going to tie that up. We're going to let it drain, but I want to get some of this out of there first because it's hot and it's going to spill everywhere. So you guys tell me about your day, your week. Everybody doing okay? Yeah, guys, have a good week. What was going on this week other than that? think that's it. The chore chart's been really good. It's been really helpful. So I don't try to do everything. I try to do everything at one time. And so this has been really good for me. Except for the house is a mess because I came back from my market yesterday and I just threw everything like all over the place. So I've got to get that all reorganized, and I need to get to the garden and get it weed whacked, and get some product made. I'm going to be at the Cutler Flea on Sunday, a week from tomorrow. So I think that's July 12th. I'm going to be at the Cutler Flea. So if you guys are local and you want to, you're going to be out and about in Binghamton, come say hello. All right, I'd love to meet you guys. I kind of was thinking that I might meet some of you yesterday in Walton, but you know, if I did, we didn't realize it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. I'm going to walk around. Okay, so I'm going to run the. There you go. Hello. Okay, so I buy these things. I bought these because I don't know if you guys know. I used to make cheese a lot. Had a cheese cave. Converted a little mini fridge to the cheese cave. So I bought these things, which is just a cheese mold, and it's just a little plastic thing. Cheesemaking.com. You can probably get it on Amazon. You can probably get it at like a health food store or someplace like that. Don't have to have them. I just had them, so that's why I did it. So all I'm going to do once this is done draining and I feel good about it, I'm going to tie it up and I'm going to squeeze a little bit more out of it, and then I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to tie the top, and then I usually just take like a little bowl and I set it right on top of it, and then you put a can or whatever, something heavy, a brick, whatever, and it's just going to keep squeezing it out. So however firm you want your cheese is how long you're going to drain it. Okay, so if you like, let me show you my final project. I wasn't going to show this to you. Wasn't going to show it to you yet, but wait, grabbed a spoon so I'm not sticking my fingers down in there. I drained this for about 3 to 4 hours, and it's pretty firm. Okay, so it's pretty, and it's been in the refrigerator. So I did this Thursday. I had time. I didn't have time yesterday. I didn't want to come home from the farm market full with making cheese. So I did this on Thursday. So it drained for about 3 to 4 hours. Then I just put it in a bowl and I covered it with saran wrap, and then I have had it in the refrigerator since then, and it's actually pretty firm. This, I would say, is probably the consistency of mozzarella. All right, so I'm just going to eat some. Hopefully it's good. It was good the other day. It's really good. So it's taken on more of a goaty taste, but it's not overly goaty. And it's not creamy. Like whenever you go to the store and you buy that spreadable, that's what I think you need to do the you need the cultures and stuff to do that. But this is really good. You could probably, if you didn't drain this for 3 to 4 hours, so the shorter amount of time that you drain it, the softer it's going to be. So if you want that soft spreadable, just don't drain it forever. I don't mind this. I actually would eat this. I would actually probably do this more like a mozzarella. So I would do this with like a caprese salad, or I would just eat this like on crackers or whatever, because it's going to be nice to, so don't let me forget to tell you about spicing it though, because I didn't spice it. I'm just going to take another bite. It's really good. Okay, I'm going to hop back around. I forgot to turn the video down. Okay, let's finish it up, folks. Finish it up. We're almost done. We are almost done. Yeah, so that's, we're going to talk about that, Kim, and when to do that. So, the herbs, flavoring it with stuff. Okay, so, told you about my milk. I'm going to set it aside. Oh, and I didn't show you my apple cider vinegar. I just buy the big gallon. I don't use the mother. I make my own. So you can make your own apple cider vinegar. And I would do that in the fall whenever apples are in season, and you're making apple pies, you're making apple blah, 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 right? And you have tons of apples. Save the cores, save the peels. Make your own vinegar. And then you probably would need like a small jar of the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. But if you make your own, then you have a mother, and then you could just use that. Okay. So, but for the purposes of making all this stuff, I just buy the gallon jugs at the grocery store or wherever. Okay. So, some people say to, I'm just going to get myself kind of situated here because I'm getting ready to tie this up. And it's probably not going to go well. If you know me, I'm going to be spilling it everywhere. Okay, so let me scooch this over here. What I would do, I didn't spice mine at all. No salt, no herbs, no nothing the last time. And I just put it into the mold. But then I realized that I was letting it drain, and now when am I going to spice it? Excuse me, the instructions that I looked up a couple different recipes and kind of cobbled this one together out of a couple different ones, which I'll put on the blog. They say to spice it after it's drained. And I'm like, well, now I have to break it apart to spice it. So I think what we want to do is at this point, we want to put some salt and some herbs in there. I even brought out a little flavored olive oil. This is cilantro and roasted onion. Since I'm going to let this drain, I haven't done this before, but what the heck? It's not going to go bad. It's not going to be bad. It might just not stick together as much, right? I would, if you want to do a little olive oil flavor, I would put a little olive oil in there now. Excuse me. So it's still draining. At this point, I want to salt it, and then you would use your herbs. You can use fresh herbs. You can use dried herbs because this is not going to last long. I mean, you can put it in the freezer, and then you'll have it in the freezer for whenever. But if you're looking for something that you're just going to sell or you want to just have fresh, then you can use fresh herbs. I just got a little lazy. I didn't walk to the garden. I had dried basil. So I'm going to put some basil in. And I'm just going to put a little bit. It's to your taste, right? All right. I don't know. That wasn't even a teaspoon. And then I'm going to put a little salt in. And I'm probably just going to mash it up a little bit. There's no big science behind this. But this one definitely needs salt. The one I was just eating and showing you, it definitely needed salt. It was good, but you could tell it was a little on the bland side. So I think I'm going to take this guy, and I'm just going to mix it in there because it's still got a lot of juice in it, okay? Still got a lot of that whey. So you can just kind of eyeball it, and I'm thinking that I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it definitely needs way more basil. So I'm going to put some more basil in there, and I'm just going to keep doing that, and it's actually going to, I'm just checking my comments over here. Comments still haven't shown up over there, but they are, I think, showing up over here on my iPad. Okay, so there's a lot of whey in here, and I'm going to show it to you here in just a second so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the draining of it, okay? How long have I been on here? 32 minutes? How does this happen? I even did, oh, my bag of gloves just flew off. Every time I'm like, oh no, this is only going to take us 30 minutes because I did stuff beforehand. Okay. I can hear it draining still, but I don't know if you can see that. Let me walk over, friends. Okay, so see, it's still really liquidy. So if you want it to still be kind of loose like this, but obviously you would want it to drain some, you're not going to drain it for very long. I would drain it for like a couple of hours, maybe an hour, check on it, and then keep going from there. If you want it to be more firm like mine, then you can let it drain for as long as you want. I just was reading a recipe that said up to 2 days. So, and you don't refrigerate it. So that's your choice. Okay, let's finish it up, friends. Okay, so I'm going to take all my little binder clips off. I feel good about this. You know what it needed? The mister and I talked about cracked pepper, but I didn't do that. So, and he doesn't eat goat cheese, so I don't think he's going to miss it. All right, so you're just going to kind of do this. I'm going to bring this pot back over because I'm going to show you one of two ways you can do this. All right, so this is not going to be as good as I would hope for it to be, but you're just going to do corners, okay? Corner to corner. And this one you're going to go like this. And then I'm just tying it in a little knot. And then this one you're going to bring up and you're going to tie it more loosely. I am just making sure that I don't have any other comments. Okay. Then you're going to get a long spoon and you're going to thread it through. All right. and you're going to move it over here, and you're going to let it hang. One way. All right? Easy peasy. Don't forget, I showed you how to make whey ricotta. You can do the same here. This is not very goaty, so I don't know, like the mister doesn't like goat cheese, so I don't know if he'd actually eat it, but I would. So I've been feeding it to the chickens though, because he doesn't like goat cheese. So I've been giving it a pan of food to the chickens with some whey in it, just so it's not wasted. But you can do a lot of stuff with the whey, so keep that in mind. Okay. If you have animals though, you can, and you don't want to do anything with it, like I just don't have the time or whatever, you can feed it to your animals. Okay. So that's one way, and you're just going to let it hang, and it's going to, all that whey is just going to come out. Okay. Now the way I like to do it, which is what we were talking about, take my little cheese mold. I'm going to take a little doing here. You got to get it done in there. Oh, this is going to be fun. I gotta think about this. All right. It fits in there, I promise. And then I just kind of, it's easier with that muslin. But I'm just going to stick it down in there. And it's going to, like, it's coming out the top because there's so much whey left in it. Okay? So I'm just going to tie this middle part a little tighter. I just want it kind of down in there. But now, keep in mind, you see, it looks like, you can see how the top of this looks. You can see where my muslin was. You can see the mold, and you can see where I tied it. So just keep that in mind. If you want it to look nicer, obviously you would come back after a while and kind of loosen that up, so it doesn't have quite the design on there like that. Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. I'm just tying this really tight because I want to get all of that goodness out of there. And then I'm doing the same thing here. Well, I'm probably going to leave that like that, actually. I'm going to take my little bowl, turn it over, and then you're going to put something heavy on top of it. Like I have a big can of sauerkraut that I put on top of it. And you're just going to have to watch it, and it's just going to keep expressing that way. That's it. All right? And you got goat cheese. So you let it drain to your consistency, your liking. You're going to spice it before with whatever you want to. Fresh herbs, dried herbs. Definitely put salt in it. It needs salt. Otherwise, it's going to be really bland. And it's okay, but it's just bland. And then you're going to let it drain. Start in an hour if you want it to be softer. If you want it to be firmer, you're just going to keep letting it drain until this was, like I said, 3 to 4 hours, and then like a day in the refrigerator. And then if you want it to be pretty and you don't want it to look like whatever you've put it in, then you're just going to take it out and just keep, I would take this out after a couple of hours and then let it maybe go back to hanging. Okay? Is that it? I think I don't see any other comments. All right. That's it, friends. It's easy. And like I started this, I try to give you guys a rough estimate on how long it would actually take you. So on a stove that holds the heat and stuff, like not my little hot plate, it's probably like 30 minutes. You want to heat it slowly. So you start out on like a, I don't know. I should have taken that off. You guys panicking? Were you panicked? I was panicked. You just see my face? I'm going to go back and watch this and see what my face looked like. So anyway, oh look, I can watch it again. Here it goes. Here it goes. Oh, it's a little delayed. All right. So where was I? I don't even remember where it was at. Oh, about half an hour. Okay. You're going to heat it slow over like a medium low heat. Get it to 175, 185. You want it just to have little, it's not a hard boil, but it's like a slow boil with little bubbles. Keep your thermometer in there. Keep stirring it. Take it off. Apple cider vinegar. 10 minutes. Drain it. Okay? That's it. Have fun. I will see you guys next week. All right? And I'm just checking for, I don't see any other comments. All right, I'm going to walk around and turn us off. I hope you guys have a happy 4th of July. Thank you for tuning in and watching along, and I will see you next week.